Mars does not feel like a planet waiting to be discovered. It feels like a place that has already been left behind. When we look at Mars, we don't see a world in progress. We see dried riverbeds with no rivers, mountains shaped by forces that no longer exist, valleys carved by water that vanished billions of years ago. Mars looks less like a beginning and more like an ending. There is something unsettling about its surface. Not violent, not explosive, just quiet. As if something once moved here and then stopped. As if time itself slowed down and never restarted. Mars carries the scars of a world that once had potential. An atmosphere that faded. A magnetic shield that failed. A planet that cooled, emptied, and fell silent. Nothing dramatic. No single catastrophe, just loss stretched across deep time. That is why Mars feels like a ruin. Not because something destroyed it overnight, but because something essential was taken away, and the planet never recovered. Mars did not lose its future all at once. It lost its protection first. Long ago, Mars was not the exposed world we see today. Deep beneath its surface, its core was warm and active, generating a magnetic field much like Earth's. That invisible shield wrapped around the planet, deflecting charged particles from the sun and holding the atmosphere in place. It allowed air to remain, it allowed water to stay. But Mars was smaller than Earth. Its interior cooled faster. As the planet aged, its core slowed, and the magnetic field weakened. Eventually, it disappeared. When that happened, Mars was left naked to the Sunday. The solar wind, a constant stream of high-energy particles, began to collide directly with the Martian atmosphere. Not violently, not suddenly, slowly. Atom by atom, the atmosphere was stripped away and carried into space. Air escaped, pressure dropped. Liquid water could no longer exist on the surface. What remained was a planet still shaped by its past, but no longer protected from the forces of space. This is why Mars feels exposed. The sky is thin, the surface is bombarded by radiation. The sun, once a source of energy, became an eraser, removing what Mars could not hold onto without its shield. Nothing replaced that protection, no recovery followed. Mars had no second chance. Ruins are not always created by destruction. Sometimes they are created by removal, by the slow loss of something essential. Mars did not collapse, it faded. And once its protection was gone, the future it once had quietly slipped away with it. Mars carries the memory of water, even though the water itself is gone. Across its surface are winding channels that branch and curve like veins, deltas that spread outward as if something once slowed, pooled, and changed direction. These shapes are not accidents. They are signatures left behind by flowing water that existed long enough to carve the land. For a time, Mars was active. Rivers moved, lakes formed, snow may have fallen. Water reshaped the surface patiently, the way it always does. Not in moments, but over thousands and millions of years. This was not a brief event. It was a chapter in the planet's story. And then it ended. As the atmosphere thinned and pressure dropped, liquid water could no longer survive on the surface. Some of it escaped into space, some froze underground, some became locked away as ice at the poles. The movement stopped, the shaping ended. Mars did not erase the evidence, it simply never updated it. That is why Mars feels like a ruin. We see the pathways, but nothing travels them. We see the basins, but nothing fills them. The landscape suggests motion, yet everything is still. On Earth, water constantly renews the surface. Rivers shift. Erosion continues. Landscapes change. On Mars, the clock stopped. The water left, but its work remained preserved in cold silence. These markings are not just geological features. They are reminders of activity without continuation, of a world that once moved and then didn't. Ruins feel haunting because they show us what used to happen there. Mars does the same. Its surface speaks of water long after the water itself chose to leave. Mars did not simply lose water or air, it lost time. Planets are alive in their own way, not biologically, but geologically. They move, reshape themselves, and renew their surfaces. Earth is still doing this. Its interior remains warm. Its plates shift. Its volcanoes breathe. Change never stops. Mars was different. Because it was smaller, Mars cooled faster. Its internal heat faded. Volcanoes that once reshaped vast regions went silent. The core slowed. The planet's engine shut down. And when that happened, change itself began to disappear. On Mars, time became preservation instead of progress. The surface we see today is ancient, billions of years old, almost untouched. Craters remain where they formed. Landscapes stay frozen in the state they were left in. Nothing arrives to replace what was lost. Nothing restarts the cycle. That is why Mars feels like a ruin. Not broken, not destroyed, just unfinished. Ruins exist where time once moved forward and then stopped, where processes ended without resolution. Mars carries that same feeling on a planetary scale. Earth erases its past through constant renewal. Mars keeps its past exposed, written across its surface like a memory that never fades. And so Mars remains exactly what it became long ago, a world that ran out of energy, ran out of protection, and finally ran out of time. It does not wait, it does not recover, it endures, silent, preserved, and forever incomplete.